At the end of 1 Peter chapter 3, Peter takes up some very difficult things, some things that are very hard for us to understand. He talks about Jesus going and proclaiming to the spirits in prison because they formerly did not obey. He talks about baptism saving us. These are some hard things that we will work out in the context of our study. But those difficult things carry over into chapter 4. And chapter 4, in one sense, is filled with difficulty. Difficulty in terms of things that are hard to understand. From the very beginning, Peter says, "Since therefore Christ suffered in the flesh, arm yourselves with the same way of thinking, for whoever has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin." What does Peter mean when he says that those of us who have suffered in the flesh have ceased from sin? In what way have we ceased from sin? These are difficult things, hard to understand. Verse 6 continues that very same theme. "For this is why the gospel was preached even to those who are dead." What does Peter mean here? The very last verse of chapter 4, verse 19 says, "Therefore let those who suffer according to God's will." There's another area, another aspect in which Peter is giving us difficult things. This may not be difficult to understand. We know well what Peter's saying, that suffering is a result of the will of God. Our suffering comes into our lives as part of the will of God. And yet it's difficult in another way. It's not hard to understand, it's just hard. So chapter 4 is filled with difficulty. Difficulty in terms of things that are hard to understand exactly what Peter is saying, and difficulty in terms of things that are hard, just plain and simple hard. And so when we look at chapter 4, we'll unpack and study some of these difficult things in more detail.